friend Dan, and he is helping me get my Longclaw sword together for MegaCon, and he has this incredible craft room.
Wait, Longclaw from
Game of Thrones.
Dun dun dun.
Dun 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 dun.
Yes.
And
Also, I have my little corgi Joine to join us as well, which I can't figure out how to shoot. So, wait a minute. How do you flip it? Flips.
yes, flip it.
There you go. Hi, Jolene.
She's adorable. Hi, Jolene.
Okay.
So that means she loves does that mean she loves Game of Thrones, or does she hate Game of Thrones?
I think she loves it. So
Okay.
I think like it's probably dragon.
She was trying to sing along with it.
Okay.
So I'm going to be a female Jon Snow.
Hold it.
Gender bend.
Okay.
So gender bend Jon Snow. Is that okay to say anymore? Gender
yeah.
bend? Okay. So I'm going to...
One more time. Here we go.
I'm going to be a gender bend Jon Snow. So a female Jon Snow.
Hey.
Jon Snow is my favorite character in Game of Thrones. And even though I am thinking there might be a few Game of Thrones characters there at MegaCon, because Matt Smith from House of the Dragons will be there. Yeah, so...
Wait. Also from what kind of fame? Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And The Crown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that didn't get a lot of love. The Crown.
I don't watch it, but I'm sure it's great.
It's really good. But you know I love England and everything about it. But yeah, so he made lovely Wolfie on his 3D printer for me. He's fabulous because I have the actual sword hanging in my house, but you can't bring a real sword with metal, and
unfortunately, for MegaCon in Orlando, they have very strict guidelines for what you can bring and what you can't bring. And they're very weird about it. So we have to make a cosplay version of it and not metal.
Yeah, so we're working on that right now. And I did get this plasticky thing from Amazon, and we might try to stick this lovely guy on it. And I'm obviously going to paint it and make it white with black and red eyes like Longclaw. But anyway,
We also have a backup plan.
Actually, this is the first plan, and I think that's the backup plan.
3D printed pieces.
Yeah.
Because I have a resin printer. Well, I have a lot of printers. But I have a 3D resin printer, which actually made all these things. And we have, when I say we have a ton of things, we have a ton of things. So we'll see if it works. If not, we have a backup plan of the plastic sword. We'll figure it out. She's going to look fabulous.
Yes, and he's gonna go too. I don't know what he's gonna be at because he always cosplays. He goes to Dragon Con every year, and he does so many cons. And he's
MegaCon.
Are you going to MegaCon?
Well, MegaCon is this one, right?
I know, but I'm saying you go to Dragon Con. And
Oh yeah, we do Dragon Con every
so.
year. We go to like multiple cons, so it makes it fun. So
Yeah, he has. Oh my god! And then he's fantastic. And his cosplay room and craft room is Scarlett's dream. I think she comes here and she comes in here and talks to him for hours, and she's like, "Oh my god, I need to get this for my room," because Scarlett does have a cosplay room, but she's been doing it for about 7 years, and she's only 19.
Doing great though.
Yeah. So anyway,
her costumes are wonderful. Like, I always tell you this, like, you don't need a whole room for this. All you really need is, like, a sewing machine or, like, some basic tools, and you can pretty much make anything.
You need to do...
It just makes it easier and faster if you have better tools.
Yes. And she's going to show Dan a little bit about wig design.
Oh, yeah, because I suck at wigs and makeup.
But she doesn't sew that well. She hand sews, but she doesn't do so... Oh! Is that Kit Harington trying to kiss my cheek?
I never want it to be. All right, you guys.
All right.
So what we're doing now is we're actually trying to fit the 3D printed pieces onto a dollar rod. So what they are is the 3D printed pieces actually have like a little bit of a hole. The problem is when you 3D print something, there's going to be a tolerance, which you actually need kind of like to drill it out, for lack of a better term. So this actually fits in there better, so we can actually start putting everything together onto this wooden dollar rod.
Because we can't have metal in MegaCon. Yeah.
And then the cool part is each of the blade pieces, right, will have 2 holes, and they will actually get their own wooden dollar rod in there, so they can actually kind of be more supportive. So let's go to the workshop and drill some holes.
All right, that sounds fun.
So what we're doing now is we are getting a drill bit that's the exact same size as our wooden dowel rod. And we're just going to kind of make sure the holes are a little bit bigger so we can actually put those back in. So right now we're just kind of increasing the hole diameter a little bit for each of the 3 pieces. That one's pretty good. And the last one. And this one. All right. And now that should be able to piece back together. So let's go back to the workshop and let's work on that.
All right. See, he's fabulous. Friends in high places, people. Friends in high places.
So right now we're just kind of like loosening it a little bit. Because the drill bit is exactly the same size as the wooden dowel rod. So it's a little bit hard to push in. And we're going to be putting glue in there, so it's okay. It's a tiny bit bigger.
Should I use super glue or hot glue?
Both will actually work for this. Generally speaking, super glue is always a little bit more permanent. Hot glue is usually temporary. Both will kind of work.
Okay.
And look at that. That works great. So that's what it looks like. Oh,
man, that's fantastic. Yeah. I'm so excited. So I'm actually going to have 2 Longclaws now, and I'm excited because I have the actual replica. Yeah, and then I think Russ paid way too much for it, but I love him for getting it for me. I adore him for doing it, but yeah.
If only my partner would buy me swords.
Ray.
All right, let's go back inside.
And then Ray's gonna be like, "What the hell, you guys?"
All right, so now that we've drilled all of the bigger holes, and this is going to be the first hole in our thing, we can actually go ahead and thread on the rest. So here we have our guard, here we have our handle, and then we finally have our super cute wolf pommel, I think is the actual name of it. So we'll kind of squeeze that all together. And then that is the basic shape of at least the hilt of the sword itself. So now what we do is, let me focus on this side, we have to go ahead and cut that off, and then you can see there's going to be smaller holes that are going to be actually continue the blade on upward. So next thing we're going to do is probably do some sanding, because we have a little bit of sanding to do. You can kind of see right here and stuff like that for the fill in the gaps, and then we're also going to take off the kind of extra material for that. So that's our next step.
All right, so there you have it. We are putting together a replica Longclaw. That's fantastic.
We're still working on the Jon Snow Longclaw, so what we're trying to do is fit a plastic blade so we can actually be cosplay safe, so we don't get stopped at security, into a 3D printed resin hilt. But the problem is, it is different shapes, as you can kind of see. Hopefully that works.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we're going to try to do is heat it up with a heat gun. Ding! The plastic part, and we're going to try to see if we can actually get into the shape.
You're just going to shove it in.
I'm going to try.
Right.
And then we'll kind of take it from there. All right, so what part do you want to do?
We're 12.
I'm right there with you. You can smush it. That's going to be the hard part.
It's the hard part?
All right. Yeah, because then you got to fit it in there.
That's hard plastic.
Okay.
That's how hard it was.
I always hate that thing flashes.
And Scarlett is helping Dan.
Yeah.
And if they need my help, move your hand, so you don't get it burned off.
Right. So the hard part is we're going to be heating the plastic, but you have to heat it evenly. And if it gets too stinky, we're going to have to go outside. But I'm not quite sure about the glue.
I never go outside when I do these things. I probably should.
Maybe. But we're going to kind of go a little bit up so we can kind of get that pinch in the center. And then we're going to have to really focus on the outer edges. Sorry. Because they need to be a crisp kind of a line as well. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. So I think we should first start and then flip it over so I can kind of do that side a little bit. Yeah. Ooh, I can see some of the plastic melting on the inside, so that's a good sign. I want to give it a squeeze and see how it feels.
It's softening up.
Okay. Oh, that's really good. Okay. We'll do a little bit more, and then we'll give it a try. So probably start with a pinch in the middle, kind of take a peek over there. Pinch first. Pinch, now here, like this. And then when you pinch, then kind of shove it in, and then while it's still, then we gotta kind of, and then try to like shove it in place. Not too hard because it's resin. Okay, I don't know what's going in.
I think I might need to heat it up more.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pinch those corners, because if we kind of see here, we have like a really very triangular, sharp edge. So we're trying to kind of get the plastic to do that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work and we don't think it'll fit, then we can try to cut little slits into it and kind of like fold it inwards, and then we can kind of do it that way.
Okay.
But we'll secure it in with glue. And
Well, what stinks is like the 3D printed blade that just wasn't working at, putting together correctly or whatever. It goes in there perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's, but
like
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Yeah. But
Right.
then it's the other things.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm on the same page.
Yep. Shoot. Okay, hold
Because
on.
what if we do this as an insert and then leave a little bit
I just
out?
thought of that. Wait a minute. I wonder if...
Well, let's see if that works, because we've already kind of deformed it. But,
We can just heat it and stretch it back out.
yeah, because it seems a little bit longer than we're going to need it anyway, right? Okay.
And here
Let's strip-
I was thinking I was just gonna pop the head on it. I didn't realize it was gonna be this much work. I was like, because Dan,
It's hard.
no, I know it is, and I enjoy doing it too. But I know that, Dan was nice enough to make us the parts on his 3D printer, and I didn't want him to have to put in too much work, and so now I feel bad. And he's like,
That's not how things work.
I didn't want him to have to make the sword for me. I mean,
We're making it together.
I know.
3D printed pieces, and now the fun part is
Oh,
assembly.
and Scarlett's laughing at me. Oh my god. Well, this is good for her because
Let's open it up. Man, let's see which one's which, and see if this is even gonna possibly fit.
oh god.
I mean, it might. Huh?
That'd be a bit of a tight squeeze.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably stretch it. Don't you think it's weird that that one's too big to fit on there, but this is too...
Maybe just Dremel these bits off of it?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, see, this glue is...
That's that weird glue, right?
Toxic
Well,
fumes.
You know what? We have
I don't even smell anything.
thinner ones.
Not really.
But
It's very faint.
this is actually the true... No.
It just kind of smells like hot glue, is what it smells like a little bit.
If we do that, is that the right one, or is it this
I don't know, Dan.
Oh!
Well, that's all
better.
little and cute.
Yeah. That's much better, though, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Then... Oh, I see the problem, though. Because this one doesn't have the bigger hole through it.
Oh, yeah.
But we could try to
Just like,
drill that hole.
Yeah, well, that's what we did before. That's what he did before, and that's how he nailed himself.
Yeah, but I mean, I can do it.
Well, you guys aren't under the influence this time. Everybody
Now it's going in, and we have a little part that can fit, and it's fantastic, and it's going
that
to
in there. Just make sure that that doesn't go quite in there. Okay,
work.
we're good.
Okay.
All right, so I think that's pretty good.
Let's see if it fits.
Well, you gotta wait till it cools a little.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that that part should be hidden in the hilt, and then it should go right to the other sword. So we should be...
Teamwork.
Huh?
Teamwork.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah! I feel like it's a Mario Party thing. Like, after you complete a mini mission, you go, woohoo! Yeah, I like that. It makes it fun. All right.
So, which land are you looking most forward to at Epic Universe?
Monster.
Same.
I am too. The monster one.
Oh,
yeah. Like,
Anybody that says different is an idiot.
I mean,
Well, my mom likes Mario.
I do like Super Mario, but I'm not that excited. I'm not that. Well, I haven't already been to the one in California, but I'm not that excited about the Mario one. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be nice. I'll like
Been
it.
there?
California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes. They go.
We went for Comic-Con, and so we went for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm also excited for the How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, you know what? I love How to Train Your Dragon. I'm one of those people that I've watched every movie, every TV show, right?
Really?
All the spin-offs of the TV shows, the new ones, the 9 Realms, and all that kind of stuff. The only one I haven't watched, I will say, not all of them, I haven't watched the Super Duper Kids one.
Yeah.
I tried, but it's a little bit too kiddish.
Yeah.
Where the other cartoons are still, like, at least enough to keep the adults' attention, which is nice.
Here we are.
Yeah,
we are
so-
going to see if this fits.
Right. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Woo!
All right, so we're gonna
totally the first time we did this.
I know. We're gonna fill it in with some putty or some clay because it's a little bit off. But I mean, honestly, I don't.
No one's gonna notice it.
I'm gonna be
I think
fine.
honestly,
I don't even think we need to fill it in. We can just because
I've weirdly done things.
They're
like
gonna
this
be looking
hot
at my
glue before.
corseted top anyway. So this was 3D printed.
Haul it out from Amazon.
We found a plastic sword that we bought, and it needed to be hollowed out because it actually had solid pieces in it. So that took the most time, believe it or not. So I was over here with Dan. We were working on it for like an hour and a half. Then finally he said, okay, you've got to go. I'm going to figure this out. He finished hollowing it out after a couple of injuries. And so, yeah, then you saw us putting this together. We glued it together and now it's all primed. And there's actually 4 pieces to make this con appropriate sword. I think it was
security approved.
Yeah, security approved. It's all plastic.
Do we still have to go through prop check?
You do. But what is the next steps? So what are you going to do at home?
We're going to paint it and detail it.
Yeah, we're going to paint it and detail it. So obviously we have to make Longclaw white with black detail.
We're going to spray paint it all black and then paint the
red
silver,
eyes,
silver, black,
dry brush this white,
so
red eyes.
Yep. So as a recap, paint the whole thing black, then dry brush the metal and the silver, and then the white on Longclaw.
And then paint his eyes red.
With the little eyes.
Yes.
Very cool.
So this is going to be an amazing Longclaw sword that you can use for cosplaying Jon Snow, whether as Jon Snow male or gender bend like I'm going to do. And Dan will have a go-to since he definitely...
You are welcome.
Made this and helped me in so many ways, and so he can use this. So we're gonna keep this, and if he ever needs it for cosplay, and Ray needs it, he can definitely use it. So this is amazing. I'm so excited to show you guys this. So here is the finished version of our con safe Longclaw. And to be very honest, I did help paint it, but I've been so busy with work and everything that Scarlett basically I did help paint some of it, but she did most of the detail work, and she helped even get the bottom part. And as you saw earlier in the video, you saw that my friend Dan at Dan is Creative, and I will post his YouTube link down there. He doesn't really do a lot with YouTube, but he does so many other things and creative things around Orlando. And he helped me get this together. He's amazing, and he creates his own costumes and does so many things. So he's fantastic. But he helped get this together. So between Dan and Scarlett and a little bit myself, we got this thing done. And so I'm going to show you. Here I have an actual version of it. This is of course it's a replica, but this one is the metal sword that I have hanging up. So I needed something that was similar to this that I could actually take in. Sometimes I see them look more like this, and sometimes I see it more like that. But But thank you so much for everyone who has been watching so far, and I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed. And as always, please stay magical, epic, and positive.